I don't want to feel like if I drop a hat, which I did tonight, or a dress, or that people are going to say, oh my God, and be ashamed of me. Or
Kristen McMenamy discovered fashion's most disturbing truth in 1992. The industry didn't want beauty.
And now that I am that person that I looked at and I dreamed about being that, it's so weird. I can't explain.
It wanted sacrifice. And the more of yourself you were willing to destroy, the more valuable you became.
Money has become more important to me. And being professional, because sometimes I've known to be a little not. I've stuck up for my artistic beliefs, and needlessly before, now that I look back.
This is how a girl nicknamed Skeleton by her high school bullies transformed that exact cruelty into haute couture currency. December 13, 1964. Buffalo, New York. Kristen McMenamy enters the world as one of 7 children in a strict Irish-American Catholic household. By 5, the family relocates to Pennsylvania, where young Kristen's body becomes her enemy. She grows too tall, stays too thin. In a family of 7 kids, she's the one who looks wrong, the one who doesn't fit the sturdy Irish-American mold. Kids at school craft a nickname that will haunt her for decades: Skeleton. They chant it in hallways, carve it into desks, make it her identity before she has a chance to create one herself. I remember just hating myself, thinking, if only I could be anybody else, she'll say later about these years. The mirror becomes unbearable. Each reflection confirms what the bullies say. She cakes on heavy gothic makeup, black lipstick, white foundation, dark circles around her eyes. Not to look pretty, but to scare people off. The makeup is armor. If she looks frightening enough, maybe they'll leave her alone before they can hurt her. School becomes endurance. She excels academically because books don't care what you look like. Teachers praise her intelligence, her diligence, her potential. None of it matters. Smart doesn't erase Skeleton. Good grades don't make you beautiful. She hates school despite being good at it. The building itself becomes synonymous with humiliation. Every day walking through those doors means another 8 hours of being Skeleton. She counts days until graduation like a prisoner marking time. At 18, despite being an excellent student, she drops out of college. The decision seems insane to her family. 7 kids in a strict Catholic household, and she's throwing away education? She's throwing away stability for what? A modeling career? With that face? That body everyone mocks? She moves to New York City with nothing but delusion and desperation. 5 feet 10 inches of awkward angles and sharp bones. The very height that tortured her in school might work in fashion. Maybe. She's betting everything on maybe. The rejections come fast and brutal. Agency after agency takes one look and passes. Too strange, too angular, too much work to make presentable. Then Eileen Ford, the legendary agent who discovered Candice Bergen and Christy Brinkley, the woman who basically invented the modeling industry, looks at Kristen and sees a project. Get plastic surgery, Ford tells her. Soften that face. Fix those features. Shave down the bones. Fill in the hollows. Become someone else. The words land like prophecy. Even here, in the city where she fled to escape Skeleton, she's still not enough. The biggest agent in the world is telling her what the kids in Pennsylvania told her. You're too ugly to exist as you are. McMenamy refuses. She's already spent years wanting to be anyone else. If fashion won't take her as she is, then fashion can go to hell. But fashion is all she wants. The contradiction tears at her. She wants it so badly she can taste it, this world that keeps telling her she's not enough. She wants it precisely because it doesn't want her. Paris, late 1980s. The phone finally rings. Peter Lindbergh wants to shoot her. The German photographer who's redefining fashion photography sees something in her that America missed. Then Karl Lagerfeld sees her portfolio, not beauty exactly. Personality and vitality, he'll call it. Whatever that means, it's enough for Chanel. She books campaigns. Chanel Couture in 1985. Jill Sander advertisements. Not supermodel money, but real work. Enough to pay rent, enough to stay in the game. She's not Cindy Crawford or Claudia Schiffer, those girls who look like they were carved by generous gods. The European clients treat her differently than Americans did. They don't want her to be pretty. They want her to be striking. There's a difference, and in high fashion, striking can survive longer than pretty. Pretty ages out. Striking just becomes more striking. Lagerfeld keeps booking her. Season after season, he puts her in Chanel. He sees past the obvious, sees what Ford missed. McMenamy isn't meant to be pretty. She's meant to be memorable, but she's still just a working model. Good enough for edgy editorials, not good enough for mainstream glory. She watches the supermodel phenomenon explode around her. Linda, Naomi, Christy, Cindy, they're becoming bigger than movie stars. They have contracts worth millions. McMenamy remains in fashion's middle tier, respected but not revered, employed but not essential. She works constantly, but nobody knows her name. She's the girl in the background of group shots, the one editors call when they need someone interesting but not someone important. She studies what makes them different. Fashion has plenty of beautiful girls who never make it. Linda changes her hair and becomes a new person every season. Naomi commands the runway like she owns it, like she's doing fashion a favor by showing up. Christy Turlington makes smoking look elegant. Kate Moss makes being wasted look chic. McMenamy realizes she's been playing it safe, trying to be pretty enough, normal enough, acceptable enough. But fashion already has acceptable. What it doesn't have is someone willing to go further than anyone else. She experiments with her look constantly. Long red hair one season, short blonde the next. But it's all surface changes. She's still recognizable, still human, still trying to be a better version of what she already is instead of something entirely new. 1992. Anna Sui's show is coming up. Francois Nars, the makeup artist who's making his own name turning models into art pieces, has an insane idea. What if they shave off her eyebrows? McMenamy's long red hair is already gone, chopped off in a moment of impulse. She's dyed what's left jet black, a harsh color that makes her pale skin look corpse-like. But eyebrows? That's not fashion, that's disfigurement. Models have been destroyed for less. One bad photo and you're done. No agency will represent you. No designer will book you. She thinks about those skeleton taunts, about Ford telling her to surgically fix her face, about years of being almost but not quite enough, about watching the supermodels get everything while she gets crumbs. I wanted it so badly, she'll say later about this moment. The it being everything, success, revenge, transformation, escape. She tells Nars yes. The razor moves across her brow bone. Years of trying to be prettier vanish with each stroke. Hair she's had since birth disappears. The fashion world loses its mind. Within days, everyone's talking about the model who shaved her eyebrows. Photographers who never noticed her are calling her agency. Designers who passed on her for years want her exclusively. She's a moment, a statement, a walking violation of every rule fashion pretended to have. The girl who couldn't get arrested in New York is suddenly fashion's most wanted. Versace books her to open their Spring-Summer 1993 show in Milan. Gianni himself approves her, says she's exactly what fashion needs. Richard Avedon shoots the campaign. Stephen Meisel wants her for Vogue's December issue. Everyone wants the girl who destroyed her face. She's making more in a month than she made in years of being almost pretty. All it cost was her face. December 1992. Vogue publishes Grunge and Glory with McMenamy as the star, shot by Stephen Meisel. The images are deliberately disturbing. She embodies everything parents fear about fashion: hollow cheeks, dead eyes, a body that looks like it sustains itself on cigarettes and sadness. The photos spread like virus. McMenamy in flannel and silk, looking like she hasn't slept in days. McMenamy with smeared makeup and thousand-yard stare. McMenamy as the beautiful corpse fashion always secretly wanted. The issue sells out. Reprints sell out. Everyone wants to see her. The term heroine chic attaches itself to her image. She becomes the poster child for a look that celebrates sickness. She's the waif, the skeleton, the walking eating disorder. Fashion magazines put her on covers looking deliberately unhealthy. The more corpse-like she appears, the more bookings she gets. Omega Watches pulls their Vogue advertisements in protest. They won't support magazines that promote anorexic imagery. Think pieces proliferate about fashion's dangerous messages. Parents write letters. McMenamy's success becomes a cultural battlefield. The irony cuts deep. The same nickname that tortured her as a teen, Skeleton, literally appears in her Diet Sprite campaign from 1994. The ad copy references it directly, turning childhood trauma into marketing copy. "You've always called me Skeleton," the implied message reads. "Now pay me for it." She's monetizing her pain so literally it borders on parody. She opens Versace shows. Gianni adores her, calls her his dark muse. She walks for Valentino, Jean-Paul Gaultier, Dior. Every designer wants her energy. Her runway walk becomes legendary. She stops mid-stride, strikes poses that look like seizures, turns fashion shows into performance art. She'll freeze like she's been electrocuted, then snap back into motion. February 1993. She co-hosts an AmFAR AIDS research benefit. For the runway portion, she walks with 6 red AIDS awareness ribbons painted down her bare back. The image makes newspapers globally. Here's fashion's demon princess using her platform for activism. Jorgen Teller will call her the best model I have ever worked with. The praise means something because Teller doesn't lie. He's shot everyone, Kate, Naomi, Cindy. But Kristen is different. But best at what? At erasing herself? At becoming fashion's gothic nightmare? At proving beauty is just another construct to demolish? She poses nude with Versace scrawled across her body for Teller in 1996. The images are brutal, raw, deliberately ugly. She looks like graffiti, like vandalism, like someone took a luxury brand and defaced it with a human body. They're also art. The distinction matters less than the impact. She's fashion's beautiful monster, and monsters make money. Helmut Newton shoots her. Ellen von Unworth shoots her. Every photographer who matters wants to capture whatever she's become. She's in Pirelli Calendar 1996, shot by Lindbergh. She's on Vogue Italia's 30th anniversary cover in 1994. She's everywhere and nowhere, famous but unknowable, successful but hollow. Mid-1990s. The call comes without warning. Versace is dropping her from their upcoming campaign. No explanation, no negotiation, just done. If you're in with Versace, you're in. You get canceled, you're a loser. It's over. That's how she'll describe the feeling decades later. The words still carry poison 20 years after they were spoken. After everything she's sacrificed, after becoming their vision of avant-garde beauty, they discard her like she's nothing. The rejection hits harder because she did everything right. She transformed herself completely. She gave them their alien, their waif, their walking controversy. She turned herself into living sculpture for their brand. She literally became their logo, their aesthetic made flesh, and they threw her away without even explaining why. Maybe grunge is ending. Fashion moves in cycles, and the waif moment can't last forever. Maybe they want someone newer, younger, weirder. The reason doesn't matter. The message is clear. No amount of sacrifice guarantees safety. You can give fashion everything and it will still leave you with nothing. Other brands still book her, but the Versace rejection creates doubt. If Gianni doesn't want her, who's next to leave? She's been fashion's it girl for 3 years, a lifetime in model years. 1998. Kristen walks away from modeling at the peak of what remains of her career. She has children to raise. Lily with French nightclub owner Hubert Bukabza, born in 1994. 3 more with photographer Miles Aldridge, whom she married in 1997 in fashion's wedding of the decade. Karl Lagerfeld designed her wedding dress and walked her down the aisle. The man who discovered her gives her away like a father. Naomi Campbell stood as bridesmaid, one supermodel celebrating another's attempt at normal life. Even her wedding was a fashion show, photographed for magazines, dissected by press. She can't escape what she's become, even when trying to become something else. 6 years pass. The industry moves on. Waifs are out, Brazilians are in. Gisele Bündchen's healthy beauty replaces heroin chic. Nobody's shaving their eyebrows anymore. Nobody wants to look sick. McMenamy becomes fashion history, filed away with other 90s relics. A cautionary tale about taking transformation too far. She raises her children in London, tries to be a normal mother, but normal is impossible when you've been what she's been. Her face is still in old magazines her kids' friends might see. She's still the woman who embodied fashion's darkest era. Then, 2004. Prada calls. Miuccia wants her for the show. She's 40 years old in an industry that discards women at 25. But there's something they need that only she has, the ability to be genuinely disturbing. Fashion's moving towards something darker again. They need someone who's been there before. She makes a decision that shouldn't work. She stops dyeing her hair. The jet black that defined her alien years grows out silver white. Long, striking, unapologetic silver. She's not trying to look younger. She's trying to look like what she is, a woman who survived fashion's most brutal era and lived to tell the tale. The silver hair becomes her new signature. It's another transformation, but this time she's revealing herself. Marc Jacobs books her for campaigns in 2005. He poses her like a silver goddess, all cheekbones and history. Vogue Italia puts her on the cover in 2009 with the headline, "McMenamy the Legend." The girl who was told to get plastic surgery at 20 is now fashion royalty at 45. She works with Micelle again. He shoots her like she's precious metal. Silver hair catching light, face showing every line she's earned. Lindbergh photographs her again, finding beauty in her weathering. All the photographers who shot her in the 90s want her back, but different. She's not the waif anymore. She's the survivor. The one who made it through heroin chic and lived to tell the tale. 2011, she closes a Chanel couture show as Carl's bride. The same designer who gave her a chance in the 80s now gives her the ultimate fashion moment. The wedding dress spot, reserved for the show's most important statement. It's a moment of genuine emotion in an industry that usually fakes it. Balenciaga books her. Givenchy books her. She opens Valentino's haute couture show in 2019 at 54, then again in 2022 at 57. Each appearance is a small revolution, proof that fashion's expiration date is negotiable if you're willing to keep transforming. That beauty isn't about youth, but about power. And power comes from surviving what should have killed you. July 2022. Jean-Paul Gaultier's couture show. McMenamy, 57, struggles in an elaborate corseted gown and impossible heels. She falls. The audience gasps. Several people rush to help. She gets up, keeps walking, finishes the show. The fashion press politely ignores it. January 2023. Valentino's Paris show. McMenamy is 58 years old, wearing towering stilettos and a restrictive gown. The shoes are impossible, the kind fashion demands but physics defies. Platform heels so high they're essentially stilts. The dress is tight, long, hard to walk in even without the shoes. She falls. This time it's worse. She goes down hard, knees hitting runway. The audience gasps louder. Several people rush to help. But McMenamy does something unexpected. She gets up, kicks off the heels, and finishes the walk barefoot. The video goes viral immediately, not as humiliation, but as metaphor. Here's fashion's ultimate survivor, literally knocked down by the industry's impossible standards, standing up and walking forward anyway. The image becomes iconic. McMenamy barefoot on the runway, dress dragging, head high. It's every model who ever suffered for fashion. Every girl who starved herself, who endured pain, who transformed into something unrecognizable for an industry that promises everything and guarantees nothing. Her Instagram, started in 2021 when she was 57, becomes its own art project. She styles herself in demented outfits, posts gothic selfies, treats social media like her personal runway. No sponsors, no agenda. Just Kristen playing dress-up in her West London home. She calls her home a Gothic lair and fills it with art collected over decades. British Vogue's January 2022 cover at 57. Inside, she jokes about being more confident now than at 27. It's not really a joke. When you've already destroyed yourself for fashion and survived, what's left to fear? When you've been the skeleton and the alien and the waif and the legend, what identity can't you wear? She controls her image for the first time in 40 years. Every post, every photo, every appearance is her choice. Fashion made her into a monster, but the monster outlived its creator. Fashion wanted sacrifice. McMenamy gave them everything: her eyebrows, her hair color, her conventional beauty, her youth, her sense of self. She turned every cruelty into currency, every rejection into reinvention. She proved fashion's darkest truth. It was never about being beautiful. It was about being willing to become whatever sold, no matter the cost.